Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, this is breaking news, and this is big news. A lot of people were waiting for this to happen, and we got to talk about it. President Trump is cutting the IRS workforce by 25%. It is happening as of this weekend. I could read you the articles, but before I do, tariffs are the reason why eventually Donald Trump plans of cutting the IRS by more than the 75% that will be left from their workforce. Yeah, this is not a joke. This is real. Ladies and gentlemen, like we have the articles right now. I got to read it to you because this is huge breaking news. The IRS starts laying off 20,000 workers as it eliminates civil rights office to begin with. What the hell? We have a civil rights IRS office? What? Ladies and gentlemen, the U.S. Internal Revenue Service began making sweeping cuts of its workforce on Friday. The agency's leadership said in an email to the staff on Friday, and among the first to go will be the employees of its Civil Rights Office. Reuters previously reported that more than 20,000 staff would be cut, which is a source familiar with Friday's announcement confirmed, saying 20 to 25% of the tax collecting agency's workforce would be targeted. And now we're at 25 with 75% remaining. Now, why is this a huge deal? Well, this is a huge deal because of Trump's plans. Trump plans on using these tariffs to make America richer, right? We're not no longer going to be the consumers. We're going to be the manufacturing. We're going to be rich. That's what Trump said. And by being rich, you get to eliminate finally, right? Because we have Doge and those checks of all that money that we're going to get back. But now we have something to look forward to by not being taxed because America's bringing in so much money that these taxes that we're paying right now on everything is pretty crazy. Hopefully property taxes go too, but this is huge. So the start of the layoffs and civil rights offices elimination were the first reported by the Washington Post. The cuts are part of a major overhaul of the federal workforce that has already cost more than 200,000 workers their jobs. President Donald J. Trump and billionaire Elon Musk will leading the reshaping and downsizing of the government. Downsizing of the government. The IRS, and I quote, the IRS has begun implementing a reduction in force that will result in staffing cuts across multiple offices and job categories. An internal human resources email was sent to all the staff on Friday. It's happening. It's real. Well, you know who's melting down about this, ladies and gentlemen, he's not happy about this at all. And I got to show you because apparently he got on camera and is putting on a show as if this guy is not the worst person in the world to say this, right? We're talking about Obama. Obama got on camera and he started melting down about this, which is just so wild to me because this guy is literally one of the. Again, I'll play it for you. I'll play it for you right now.
Imagine if I had done any of this. Let me just. I just want to be clear about this. Imagine that. Imagine if I had pulled Fox News' credentials from the White House press corps. You're laughing, but no, this is what's happening.
Yeah, so him and Kamala decided to come out, especially after this news about the IRS, decided to come out and try to, because yes, the stock markets are not looking too good right now because of the reshaping of the government. But the good thing is that inflation will definitely vanish because of this, and the index will finally reshape itself. And also, interest rates will be cut by sometime in May because of this. But anyways, so he's mad about that, of course. And what's sad about it is that he's claiming all these things as if he didn't try to actually bar Fox News. He sued nuns, Obama did, sent the IRS after conservative book groups, and droned an American citizen for saying the same things. Again, whatever you want to, I don't want to read too much, but we know how many bombs this guy dropped. He ran out of them. And he also is responsible for the IRS having so much power. So downsizing the government, it's a great thing, especially for libertarians, independents, some conservatives. This used to be a liberal ideology, by the way, back in the day. Don't know what happened. So again, it's so wild to see someone like Obama lose their minds like that. It's so wild to me. But again, Donald Trump making a huge announcement, the best announcement so far, which means that we are headed up in the right direction. What does this mean? Well, he's very much for real about what he wants the future to look like. External revenue service, right? These tariffs will cover for what it is the IRS is even covering for today. Now, that doesn't mean that we're done with Doge, because Doge is finding so much more waste in the government, and that's already a good thing. But the IRS, to me, man, there's nothing more weaponized than the IRS, in my opinion. So I want to go here to Howard Lutnick, who is Trump's Secretary of Commerce. Now, maybe some of you guys have seen this video before, maybe some of you guys have not. But he says Trump's overall goal is no tax for anyone who makes less than $150,000 a year, right? This is the guy, again, this is Trump's administration, Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, speaking about this. Take a listen.
Is to have external revenue. You know, the way I think about it, we all are so used to paying taxes. We're so used to it. We have like Stockholm syndrome. You know, don't stop the Internal Revenue Service, God forbid. How about this? The rest of the world leans on our economy, breathes off our economy. Not only is our economy $29 trillion GDP, but we consume $20 trillion a year. We are the buyer of everybody's stuff. We buy everybody's stuff. So who's more important? The people who sell stuff or the people who buy stuff? So we are the buyer of everybody's commodities, products, goods and services. Everything comes from us, right? Let them pay a membership fee. We all understand that model. Let them pay. How about we, you and I, and every single person we know pay less? How about no tax on tips? How about no tax on overtime? How about no Social Security? How about all those things? These are the kind of thoughts that will change America. I know what his goal is. No tax for anybody who makes less than $150,000 a year. That's his goal.
So that's his goal. That's his administration saying that. I've reported on that before, but now it's literally coming into fruition, right? 25% of the workforce of the IRS has been literally cut. That's huge, especially when we've seen this workforce under Kamala. This is why I said many stupid people like, oh, I wish Kamala would. You think Kamala wouldn't have been hiring more IRS workers? Who do they go after? You think they go after? Do you think they're going after rich people? No, they're going after the middle class. They're going after people. They were going after people who received more than $600 in their Venmo. You couldn't even do a transfer of $600 or receive $600 without the IRS being all up in your business. We know what this is like. This is why tariffs are a great thing, in my opinion. Now, the markets are not having a reaction to it. We already know that. But again, this is what it's supposed to look like. It's not going to be pretty. Not going to be pretty at all. But on the bright side, it's just the beginning of this administration. When we get no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, when these things start to begin to be implemented, and when we start to see the results, you'll start to see the narratives go crazy and change. The index is reshaping, rebalancing itself. Inflation will be erased. Again, right now, crypto's correlation with the NASDAQ 100 can now take on its own, like it's the mothership of all motherships. Bitcoin, that is. No more correlation with the market. This is huge. And this is what tariffs could be responsible for. This is what the bright side would look like 4 years from now when we get the announcement. Just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, not financial advice. But man, this is big. This is definitely what I voted for. But apparently, according to Obama, according to Kamala, according to many different people, this is not, no, this is not good. But again, only time will tell. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'll admit that. Or maybe I'm right, and I'm not sure the haters will admit that. See you guys on the next one.